So this is an Atlas Code 55 turnout, and as you can see, the throw bar on this turnout is very loose. I can just wiggle it with the slightest touch. It sits in between the point throws often. In order to use this on a model railroad, we need to add a center overspring. And I've got one here that I've already added a center overspring to. You can see it, it's right there between that tie and the throw bar. And it's just a little spring. It's a little triangular shaped piece there. And now, instead of moving freely, the points snap. Don't know if you can hear that, but it snaps and holds. So I'm going to show you how I go about making the center oversprings for Atlas Code 55 turnouts. Okay, in order to make a center overspring, the first thing you're going to need is some 20 thousandths wire. This is 20 thousand steel wire that I picked up at my local hobby shop. This is pretty much it for making the device. The only other things that you'll need are some tools. I use a pin vise, and this has, I believe it's a number 75 bit that comes out to like 21 thousandths. We'll need a set of square jawed pliers, a set of cutters to cut the wire with, and I also find it helpful to have a standard set of needle nose pliers, and that's pretty much it for tools. One other tool that I forgot that you would need for this is some styrene strips. This is an HO scale 2x4 strip from Evergreen Styrene. I find these are handy for sticking into the points to kind of help center them up. And so let's go ahead and start with that. The first thing that you're going to want to do is get these points pretty well centered up. So I take this styrene strip and put it right there. I don't know if you can see it, right at the heel of where the turnout point intersects the stock rail, and just slide that down in there and hold it over to that side, and come back here on the other side with another piece of styrene. Just slide that in, and that gets you pretty well centered up. You can see that the points don't move. Once you've got the throw bar centered, what I like to do is use this little cross piece here on the throw bar to kind of identify the center of the tie. And once I've done that, I'll just drill a hole right at the center of this tie. And there we go, we got a hole in the tie. But now the next hole that we'll need to drill will be right in the middle of the throw bar itself. So just center it up on that cross piece there and drill the hole. And there we go. We've got a hole in the throw bar and a hole in the tie. Okay, the next step, we're going to start bending our 20 thousandths wire. You don't need to have a whole lot that you bend here. I usually just use the width of the square jaw pliers. Bend that over. It's a nice little hook. Then we're going to take and we're going to make what I'm calling the bend in the triangle. For this, what I like to do is take this bent piece here and use it kind of as a flag, and stick it out of the top of the pliers to kind of let me know, and that helps me to gauge how far I am from that bend, that first bend that we made. So I'm going to take a look at it here, slide it in a few little notches there. These are not smooth jaw pliers, they're just square jaw pliers. We'll make that next bend, and there we go. Now for the next bend, I'm going to pull out my needle nose pliers. I'm going to have to make a fairly sharp or fairly short piece here. to get this to work. So put that in there. I'm going to bend this back down in the direction of that first bend. It doesn't matter if you don't get it. You can see I've kind of gotten it whoppy jawed here. It doesn't line up exactly right. That's okay. You can bend this around, take the square jaw pliers. If you can straighten them up. So no worries there. And now it's time to clip it and see if it fits. Take the cutters, and I just usually go about the same length to the base and pop that. And that's what you're left with. Not much. The good thing about this is that if you do it wrong, you've not wasted much material. It's going to take you several iterations the first time you do this. In fact, I will be very surprised if this came out right on the first try, but let's see. I may tweak this one a little bit, try to get it in, but if it doesn't fit, don't force it. If it fits too tightly, it'll push the throw bar out of alignment. If it fits too loosely, you won't get a good little snap action. So eventually you'll be able to turn these things out perfectly time after time after time. It's like anything, practice makes perfect. So I've got one here now that fits pretty well. Just take this and slide it in. You've got the turnout dead centered up. It's not going to fit. There should be a little bit of tension on this even when it's thrown one direction or the other. Be careful. As you can see, it just squirted away from me there. You'll just want to insert this in. I usually insert it in the throw bar first and then try to compress it. There we go. So you can see it's standing very proud, but you just push it down in there. And now's a good time to test and see if it works. Presto. This one seems, you probably can't tell it on the video, but this one has a tendency to throw toward the main, which is fine. I would prefer that it want to center or snap over toward the main track more so than the diverging route. This one just has a slight propensity to do that, so it's good enough that I can live with it. If that bothers you, go back, make another one. It's possible to measure and tweak and do all of that, but at this point, this is pretty well a completed spring. So we just flip it over. We're going to take our cutters again and cut these pieces that are hanging out here off the bottom. And there we are. Not anything standing proud. And we have a completed center over spring. Okay, so this is the original turnout that I started with, and took me a little bit of tweaking. It was the second one that I made that came out pretty close, and I was able to tweak it just a little bit. These things are going to take a little fiddling, but I did get something that works pretty well. So hope you learned how to make an over center spring, and hope this video is helpful. Shoot me any comments, I'll try to respond. Y'all have a good one.